In this video, I wanted to discuss about 8051 assembly language programming. Before going to discuss the assembly language programming of 8051, we will see some basics of 8051 microcontroller. 8051 microcontroller is a complete high integrated microcomputer. It consists of CPU, RAM, ROM, IO. There are four ports are there: port 0, port 1, port 2 and port 3. Port 0 is a 8-bit bidirectional IO port or multiplex lower order address and data bus bytes. The port 1 is a 8-bit bidirectional IO port. Port 2, there are two functions for the port 2: 8-bit bidirectional IO port or high order address byte. Port 3, 8-bit bidirectional IO port or various special function signals. Coming to 8051 microcontroller interface signals. These are the different microcontroller interface signals. Coming to port 0 or address 0 to 7, port 2 address 15 to 18. Total 0 to 15 are the address, total 16 bits, and 0 to 7, that is 8 bits, are the data. Therefore, the 8051 microcontroller is an 8-bit microcontroller. It has 16 address lines and 8 data lines. Similarly, some other signals here: ALE address latch enable, program store enable, and other signals, read signal, write signal. Here P3.6, port 3, just now in the last we have discussed, port 3 used as a some special functions, that is here read function. P3.6, port 3 pin 6 for the write, port 3 pin 7 for the read, port 3 2 int 0, port 3 3 int 1. Similarly, timer 0, timer 1. 3.0 RxD receive data, P3.1 TXD transmit data. Then port 1 is another 8-bit ports. Here there are two interrupts here: timer 0, timer 1, and serial input port, serial output port. Like that, different interface signals are indicated in this diagram. Then coming to the other signals, here are: this is the power supply, then this is the clock and reset circuit shown in this diagram. Coming to the memory of 8051 microcontroller, there is a 64 kilobytes maximum of code memory, 120 bytes of RAM, 64 kilobytes of external RAM, that is the maximum, special function registers and bit memory. If you observe here, this is the memory: internal RAM, special function registers, internal code, this is optional, external RAM and external code. Then the internal RAM of 8051 are divided into here three parts. Here this is one part, register banks. This is another part, general user RAM. This is other part, that is special function registers. For example, here 002 to F, that is the registers bank. There are four register banks here: register bank 0, bank 1, bank 2, bank 3. Each bank consists of 8 registers: R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6 and R7. Similarly, the bank 1 also having R0, R1, R2, R3, R4, R5, R6, R7. Similarly, bank 2 and bank 3, each bank having 8 registers. Coming to, these are the bit addressable: 002 3F and 402 7F. This is another general user RAM. This is the special function registers. Coming to the basic registers of 8051: accumulator, usually that is indicated with A; OR registers, just now we have discussed R0, R1, R2, R3 and so on, R7 are the OR registers. B register, data pointer register, this is the 16 bits, program counter 16 bits and stack pointer. Coming to the move instruction here. It is simply stated the move instruction copies data from one location to another. It has the following format: move destination comma source. This instruction tells the CPU move or copy the source operand to the destination operand without changing the content of the source operand. If you see some examples here, move a comma hash 55. What happens here is the 55, the value 55 is transferred to A, where A is the accumulator. Move R0 comma A. What are the contents of A that are transferred to the register R0? Move R3 comma hash 95. The 95, the value 95 is loaded into R3. Move A comma R3. The contents of R3. For example, if you observe these two, R3 value is 95 here. 95 is transferred to A. If you observe here, 55 is transferred to A. The same value is transferred to R0, like that. Some useful pointers here. Value can be loaded directly into any of the registers A, B or R0 to R7. However, to indicate that it is an immediate value, it must be preceded with a hash sign. Move A comma hash 23 H. Load 23 into A. Move R6 comma hash 12. That is 12 is loaded into R6. Similarly, 0 F9 that is transferred to R5. If the value is small, rest of the bits are assumed to be zeros. That means, for example, only move A comma you have written 0, 3. The remaining bits are 0. Example, move a 4-bit value into 8-bit register. Moving a value that is too large into a register will be cause an error. To load a value into a register, it must be preceded with a hash sign. Otherwise, it means to load from a memory location. For example, the difference between these two here. Move A comma hash 17H is not equal to move A comma 17H. Here 17H represents a memory location. Here 17H represents a value, direct value is transferred to A. Here the contents of 17 memory location 17 is transferred to A. That's why these two are not equal. Coming to add instruction. The add instruction has the following format: add A comma source. Add the source operand A to A. This tells the CPU to add the source byte to register A and put the result in A. Add the contents of A plus source, the result again stored at A. Some of the examples here. Calculate the contents of the accumulator after the programming is executed. Move R5 comma hash 25H. Move R7 comma hash 34H. Move A comma hash 0. That means initially R5 is loaded with 25H. R7 is loaded with 34H. Then the value A is initialized with 0. Then add A comma R5 means 0 plus R5 value is 25H. Therefore the value is 25H. Then add A comma R7. Then 25 plus 34 is added. That is 59 is the value. After this program is executed, the value of the accumulator is 59. Coming to addressing modes of 8051. An addressing mode refers how you are addressing a given memory location. Otherwise, how an operand is specified. In a summary, the addressing modes are as follows with an example of each. There are 5 addressing modes are there. Immediate addressing mode, the example is move A comma hash 20H. Direct addressing mode, move A comma 3030H. Indirect addressing mode, move A comma @R0. External direct, move X A comma @DPTR. code indirect move C, that is code a comma at the rate a plus dptr. Each of these addressing modes provides important flexibility. Coming to immediate addressing mode. Immediate addressing is so named because the value to be stored in memory location immediately follows the operation code in memory. Within the instruction, the value is specified. The example is move a comma hash 20. The direct addressing mode. In this addressing mode, the value, otherwise the data is stored in a memory location. The example is move a comma 30h. That means 30 is the memory location. The contents of 30 is transferred to A. Indirect addressing mode. In this addressing mode, a powerful addressing mode which many cases provides an exceptional level of flexibility. This instruction causes the 8051 to analyze the value of the R0 register, the contents of contents, not R0 value. For example, R0 value is 40 here. For example, let's say R0 value holds 40H. The contents of 40 is 67. That 67 is transferred to A. That is indirect addressing mode. Similarly, some examples here. External direct. Move X a comma at the rate, example is move X a comma at the rate dptr. External memory is accessed using external direct addressing. There are only two commands that use external direct addressing mode. Move X a comma at the rate dptr, move X at the rate dptr comma A. As you can see, both commands utilize dptr. In these instructions, dptr must first be loaded with the address of external memory that you wish to read or write. Once dptr holds the correct external memory address, the memory address into the accumulator. The second command will do the opposite. The first one is read the data from external memory. The second one is write the data into external memory. The address is specified in dptr register. Based on the dptr value, the data will be read or write. Coming to external indirect addressing. External memory can also be accessed using a form of indirect addressing, that is move X or not at the rate or not comma A. Whenever at the rate symbol is there, that will be indirect. Once again, the value of R0 is first read and the value of the accumulator is written into that address in the external RAM. Since the value of at the rate R0 can only 00 to FF. For example, write a short program for the 8051 microcontroller that carries out of the following instructions. For example, the question 1 here, loads the accumulator with the value 40H, load R7 with, accumulator is loaded with 40H, R7 loaded with 12D, D represents the decimal, copies the contents of R7 to the address 30H directly, loads R0 with 30H, indirectly moves the contents of 30H to register B. Indicate clearly the contents of each stage of all memory locations and registers involved. Structure of assembly language. It consists of a series of assembly language instructions. Instruction consists of 4 fields. That is, the first one is label, mnemonic, operands, comments. Just like 8086 also, this structure is same. The first one is label, mnemonic, operands, and semicolon. After semicolon, it indicates comments. The label field allows the programmer to refer to a line by name. The comment field must be given with a semicolon. Example of assembly language program. ORG0H, that is the starting location of the memory location. Move R5 comma hash 25H. Move R7 comma 34H. Move A comma hash 0, add a comma r5, add a comma r7, add a comma hash 1 to h, then s jump here, then end. Here the 25 value 25 is transferred to r5, then 34 is transferred to r7, add a comma 0, a comma hash 0 means a 0 is transferred to a, or simply we can say clear a, add a comma r5, a equal to 0, r5 is 25, therefore here the a value is 25. Add a comma r7, already here before here the r value, sorry, a value is 25, now 25 plus 34, that is 59h. Then add a comma 12 is already here 3 9 plus 12 will be added here, then s jump here means there is a short jump here, this is stay in this loop, then end of the program. 8051 data types and directives. Only one type of data used in 8051, that is 8-bit. It is the job of the programmer to break down data into 8 bits if you are having larger data. Then db, the db directive is the most widely used data directive in assembler, used to define the 8-bit data. When db is used, the numbers can be decimal, binary, hexa or ASCII commands, ASCII formats. The only directive that can be used to define ASCII strings larger than 2 characters. For example, here org500h, that is the starting location here. Data 1 db 39h, data 2 db 2591h, that is ASCII numbers. org518h, another one here. Data 3 db computer engineering, that is the string operation. There are 3 assembly directives here. org, it is used to indicate the beginning address of the program. EQU, used to define a constant without occupying a memory location. For example, here count EQU 25. Whenever you are using this count, that is equal to 25. End indicates the file or source file. Program status word. Here there is a program status word in 8051. The program status word is used to store a number of important bits that are set and cleared by 8051 instructions. The PSW SFR contains the carry flag, auxiliary carry flag, overflow flag and parity flag. Additionally, the PSW register contains register bank select flags, which are used to select the R register banks are currently selected. Here parity, overflow, auxiliary carry, then RS1 and RS0 are used for the register banks. There are 4 register banks we have seen already. For example, 00 bank 0, 01 bank 1, 10 bank 2, 11 bank 3. Here one of the example here. State the contents of RAM locations after the following program. Set B PSW4, then move R0 comma hash 99h, move R1 comma hash 85h, move R2 comma hash 99h, move R7 comma 85h, move R5 comma 99h. Solution for this: by default PSW 3.0 or PSW.3 is equal to 0 and PSW.4 is equal to 0. Therefore, line 1 sets RS1 is equal to 0, 1 and RS0 is equal to 0. Therefore, selecting register bank is 2. The register bank 2 uses RAM locations 10 to 17H. After executing the program, we have the following. Here the 99, 85, 99 and 85 and 99, R0, R1, R2, R3 and R7. For example, here 10 is the R0, 11 is the location of the R1, R2, then R7 and R4, R6. Then here RAM location 10 have value is 9985. If you observe here, this program will be executed here. For example, R0, R1, R2, R7, R5. Here R0, R1, R2, R7, R5. These are the addresses. Actually, there we have written only R0, but it indicates some location here. The contents of that location is filled with 9985 3F 6312H. Stack in 8051. Selection of RAM used by the CPU to store information temporarily. Information can be data or an address. The CPU needs this storage area or stacked memory since there are only limited number of registers. How stacks are accessed in 8051? Then the registers are used to access stack is called stack pointer and the size of 8 bits. When the 8051 is powered up, the stack pointer consists of the value 07. This means the RAM location 08 is the first location used for the stack. The final location is 1F. Storing of a CPU register in the stack is called push. Loading the contents of the stack back into the CPU register is called. By using two instructions, push and pop, we can operate these stacks. For example, if you wanted to write the data into stack, we are using push. If you wanted to read the data from the stack, we can use pop. Pushing onto the stack. The SP points to the last used location of the stack. As we push data onto the stack pointer is incremented by 1. When you pop a value of the stack, the 8051 returns the value from the memory location indicated by SP and then decrements the value of SP. Example for the stacks. Move R6, hash 25, that means the value 25 is transferred to R6. Then move R1, hash 12H, 12 is transferred to R1. Move R4, hash 0F3H, then the F3 value is transferred to R4. Then push 6. Then push on to stack from R6. Why? Because the first one is R6, the 25 value is transferred to R6. Then push 1, that is the value pushed onto the stack from R1. Then push 4, that is push onto the stack from R4. Then pop values pop 3, pop 5 and pop 2. Pop the stack into R3, pop the stack into R5, pop stack into R2. Like that we can push and pop instructions will be used in 8051. The upper limit. The RAM locations 08 to 1F used for the stack. If more than 24 bytes of the stack required, then the SP must be changed to point to RAM locations 30H to 7F using the instruction move SP, hash XX. Also may need to shift SP if a given program needs register bank 1, 2 or 3. Example. Show the stack and stack pointer for the following instructions. For example, move SP, hash 5FH. That means the stack pointer is initialized with 5F. Then move R2, hash 25H. Move R1, hash 12H. Move R4, hash 0F3H. Push 2, push 1 and push 4. Then what happens here? Write a simple program in which the value 25 is added 5 times. By using the stack, we can use this program. Move SP, hash 70H. Move R5, hash 66H. Move R2, hash 75H. Move R7, hash 5D. Then push here the 5 to 7, these three values clear A, move R2 comma A, move R7 comma A, then pop 7 to 5. Program flow. When an 8051 is first initialized, it resets the PC to 0000H. Then 8051 begins to execute instructions sequentially. There are various instructions that can modify the value of PC, especially conditional branch instructions, direct jumps and calls, and returns from the subroutines. Additionally, interrupts when enabled can cause the program flow to deviate from its, otherwise the program will be executed sequentially. Only whenever a conditional branch or some other jumps or calls returns only, that is deviated. And loop and jump instructions. Repeating a sequence of instructions a certain number of times is called a loop. The loop action is performed by the instruction DJNZ register comma label. In this instruction, the register is decremented. What are the registers specified here? That will be decremented. If it is not equal to 0, it jump to label, that is targeted address. Prior to the start of the loop, the register is loaded with the counter for the number of repetitions. Therefore, initially the register value is loaded to the count, how many times that loop will be executed. Example, write a program to clear the accumulator, then add 3 to the accumulator 10 times. Initially the accumulator is loaded with 0, then move R2 comma hash 10, the R2 value is 10 here, then add A comma hash 03. Here what is the program here? Add 3 to the accumulator 10 times. How many times the 3 will be added to accumulator? 10 times. Here A value is 0, here the value is 03. The first time 3 will be added. DJNZ R2 comma again. What is the RE value here? Initially the RE value is 10. DJNZ, the RT value is decremented by 1. If not 0, it will go to again. Then R2 value is 9. Again go to here. 3 plus 3, 6. Again DJNZ, RT value is decremented by 1 again. That is 8 now. Again it will transfer to go to again. 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9. Like that 10 times 3 will be added. Finally the result will be stored at R5. The final result will be stored at R5. Next we will consider a question here. Write a program to load the accumulator with the value 10 and the complement the accumulator 700 times. Then there is a hint is given here, that is try 2 separate loops to achieve the overall of 700. Why? Because only if you use 8-bit registers here, therefore only 256 times only. This is solution for the previous problem. Move A comma hash 10, move R3 comma hash 10, move R2 comma hash 70, then complement A, DNZ R2 comma again, then 10 times it will be added. DJNZ R3 comma next, this is also will be executed. Total 7 into 10, that is 700 times. Why? Because this loop for the R2 means 70 times, then R3 means 10 times. 70 into R3 10, that is 700 times. Like this also any number of times we can use this loop instruction here. Other conditional jumps here. JZ, jump if A is equal to 0. JNZ, jump if A is not equal to 0. DJNZ, just now discuss decrement and jump if A is not equal to 0. CJNE A comma byte, jump if A is not equal to byte. CJNE register comma hash data, jump if byte not equal to hash data. JC jump if carry flag is equal to 1. JNC jump if carry flag is equal to 0. Jump if bit is equal to 1. Jump if no bit, if bit is equal to 0. JBC jump if bit is equal to 1 and clear the bit. Find the sum of the values 79, 59, F5 and E2. Put the sum of the registers in R0 lower byte and R5 is the higher byte. Add these three numbers 79H, F5H, E2H and the result is more than 8 bits. Therefore, lower ordering is R0, higher ordering R5. This is the program. Move A comma hash 0, move R5 comma A. Add A comma hash 79H, that is A plus 79H. A is equal to initial is 0. Jump if no carry N1, add A comma hash 0 F5H. Then J and C N2, add A comma 0 to H. Then increment over. Then finally the result will be stored in A. The lower order is stored in A. Otherwise, if a carry is generated here, jump if no carry, it will go to here. Otherwise, increment R5. R5 will be incremented here. Initially, this is the R5 is A. That is R5 is also equal to 0. Clear R5 here. Here increment R5. Here also increment R5. Finally, the result will be stored in R5 and R0. Lower order in R0, higher order in R5. Unconditional jump instructions. All conditional jumps are short jumps, meaning that the address of the target must be within the minus 128 and plus 127 bytes of the contents of the program counter. Unconditional jump instructions are L jump, long jump, 3 byte instruction, S jump, short jump, 2 byte instructions. Coming to call instruction. Call instruction is used to call a subroutine. L call and A call. L call is the long call, the absolute call. When the subroutine is called, the control is transferred to that subroutine. After finish the execution of the subroutine, the instruction RET transfers the control back to the caller. Then time delay generated and calculation. Then how to generate the time delay? For the CPU to execute an instruction takes a certain number of clock cycles. The 8051 family, these clock cycles are referred to as machine cycles. We can calculate a time delay using the available list of instructions and their machine cycles. In the 8051, the length of the machine cycle depends on the frequency of the system oscillator connected to the 8051 system. The frequency of the crystal connected to the 8051 family can vary from 4 MHz to 30 MHz. In the 8051, one machine cycle lasts 12 oscillator periods. Therefore, to calculate the machine cycle, we take 1 by 12 of the crystal frequency and then take the inverse, that is converted into time. For example, the following shows the crystal frequency for 3 different 8051 based systems. Find the period of the machine cycle in each case. For example, one of the crystal frequency 11.0592 MHz, 16 MHz and 20 MHz. For the 11.0592 MHz, 1 by 11.0592 MHz is equal to period per oscillation. Machine cycle is equal to 12 into x. Therefore, that is equal to 1.085 microseconds for the 11.0592 megahertz. Similarly, 1 by 16 megahertz, that is equal to period per oscillation. Machine cycle is equal to 12. Therefore, that is equal to 0.75 microseconds. If 12 megahertz 1 by 20 megahertz 1 by 20 megahertz, that is equal to period per oscillation. Machine cycle is equal to 12 into x, that is equal to 0.6 microseconds. Coming to, for an 8051 system of 11.0592 megahertz, find how long it takes to execute each of the following instructions. Move R3 comma hash 55, decrement R3, DJNZ R2 comma target NOP mul AB. Then we will decide here how the values will be calculated. For move R3 comma hash 55, it will take 1 into 1.085 microseconds. Why? Because it is a 1 byte instruction. Decrement R3 is also same, that is 1 into 1.085 microseconds. DJNZ R2 comma target, that is 2 byte instruction, therefore 2 into 1.085 microseconds. NOP is single one, 1 into 1.085 microseconds. Mul AB is 4, therefore 4 into 1.085 microseconds. Like that, we can calculate the required time for executing for a particular instruction here based on the number of machine cycles required for that particular instruction. Delay calculation. A delay subroutine consists of two parts: setting a counter, the second one is loop. You must consider these 2 points for delay calculation. Most of the time, delay is performed by the body of the loop. Very often, we calculate the time delay based on the instructions inside the loop and ignore the clock cycles associated with the instructions outside the loop. The largest value a register can hold is 255. Therefore, one way to increase the delay is to use NOP command. By using number of times the NOP instruction, we can increase the delay loop. NOP, which stands for no operation, simply it wastes the time. We will discuss one of the example for the delay loop. Find the size of the delay in the following program if the crystal frequency is 12 megahertz. Move A comma hash 55, move P1 comma A call delay, CPL A S jump again, move R3 comma hash 200, DJNZ R3 comma again here, then return. What does the program? Solution for the above problem. Here, for this 12 machine cycles here or crystal cycles here, for this 24, for this 12. Therefore, we have a delay of 200 into 24 plus 12 plus 24 into 0.083 microseconds. Total, that is equal to 402 microseconds for completing that entire loop. Loop inside a loop delay. Another way to get a large delay is to use a loop inside a loop, which is also called nested loops. Here, the delay move R3 comma hash 250H, NOP, 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 DJNZ R3 comma here, then return. Here, what happens? NOP, no operation. How many times? 1, 2, 3, 4 times here. 12 crystal clock cycles each. Then time delay is equal to 250 into how many times? 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 24 whole into 0.83 microseconds plus 12 plus 24 into 0.83 83 microseconds. Why? Because in this loop only we must consider here 12, 12, 12, 12 and 24. Out of the loop there is 124 is here, then 112 is there. That must be considered separately. Therefore, this will be loop generated. Then, for a machine cycle of 1 microsecond, find the time delay of the following subroutine. Then, for a machine cycle of 1 microsecond, find the time delay of the following subroutine. Delay, move R2 comma hash 200, move R3 comma hash 250, NOP, NOP, DA, JNZ R3 comma here, DJNZ R3 comma again RET. What you have used here? In the loop again we have used another loop. Then what happens here? This is the solution. Here loop is equal to 4 into 250 into 1 microseconds, that is 1000 microseconds. Again loop, that is repeats here, loop 200, 200 into 1000, that is 200 milliseconds. Again here, that is 600 microseconds. Finally, the total execution time is 200.6 milliseconds approximately. This will be calculated. In this way the loops will be calculated. Therefore, we have discussed here a brief idea about the programming of 8051. In the next session we will discuss detailed programming of 8051. Okay, thank you.